Hello students, come back to our Social Studies Chapter 6, Places of Indian Cultural Heritage. The other day we studied about the caves. And which caves have we studied, students? So far we studied about the caves of Ajanta, Ellora and Elephanta caves. And we know that all three of them are situated in Maharashtra. Among them, Ajanta and Ellora are situated in Aurangabad district, whereas Elephanta caves are built in the Arabian Sea, 12 kilometers away from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Dear students, as I had told you the other day, these three questions about Ajanta, Ellora and Elephanta caves have been asked for 3 marks so far in the exam, and therefore I want you to learn by heart. Now, as we turn to page number 44, please open your textbook and be with me. Mahabalipuram. Mahabalipuram is located 60 kilometers away from Chennai. This city of Tamil Nadu is famous for its splendid temple, architecture and seashore. Narasimha Varma I, who was popularly known as Mahamala, belonged to Pallava dynasty. 7 chariot temples were built here. At present, only 5 chariot temples exist. 2 chariot temples have submerged in the sea. There is an amazing figure of Lord Vishnu in a smiling pose. Besides, there is an idol of goddess Durga slaying Mahasasura is worth seeing. Mahabalipuram, which has an unparalleled architectural rock sculpture, was also famous harbor of ancient time. So, now students, we are talking about Mahabalipuram. And where is it situated? The other temples which we saw, they were situated in Maharashtra. But this is in Chennai, 60 kilometers away from Chennai in the Tamil Nadu city. The other day we had seen it, and also it was popularly known as Mahamala, belonged to the Pallava dynasty. And who was the king or who was ruling at that time? Narasimha Varma I. At present, the chariot temple, only 5 chariot temples exist out of 7 temples which were built over there in Mahabalipuram. There is an amazing figure of Lord Vishnu, and how is it, student? It is in the smiling position. There is also an idol of goddess Durga. And what is goddess Durga doing, students? She is slaying Mahasasura, and that is something worth watching. Mahabalipuram, which is an unparalleled architectural rock sculpture, was also famous harbor of ancient time. So that's about Mahabalipuram. Today we are going to start. Now I think up to Mahabalipuram we have studied. I just wanted to explain that to you. Let's study about Patadakal Memorial. Now what is this Patadakal Memorial? Patadakal, the capital of Chalukya dynasty, is 16 kilometers away from Badami Nagar, and Dravid style of architecture is used in construction of temples here. These were built during the 7th and 8th century. Virupaksha temple is the biggest temple in Patadakal. So now students, Patadakal Memorial, we are talking about Patadakal Memorial, and Patadakal is the capital of Chalukya dynasty. Just now, we studied when we were talking about Mahabalipuram, we studied about Pallava dynasty, but right now, when we are studying about Patadakal, it is a Chalukya dynasty and it's in Badami Nagar, which is 16 kilometers away from Badami Nagar, Chalukya dynasty, that Patadakal. The Patadakal memorials are 16 kilometers away from Badami Nagar, and the architecture, what we get to see over there, it's in the Dravidian style. The temple which is built in the Dravidian style of art. Now, these were built during 7th and 8th century. You will have to remember, temple has been built during the 7th and 8th century, and Virupaksha temple is the biggest temple in Patadakal. So when you write about Patadakal, first and foremost you have to write about the capital of Chalukya dynasty, in which is 16 kilometers away from Badami. The temple has been in Dravidian style. It is built during the 7th or 8th century. And Virupaksha temple is the biggest temple in Patadakal. Let's study about temples at Khajuraho. Now, this question can be asked for 2 marks. But soon after that, we are going to study about Sun Temple of Konark. Those questions can be for 2 or 3 marks. This whole chapter from the point of exam is very important because we are dealing about the different architecture, cultural architecture. So let's study about now temples at Khajuraho. These temples are located in a small village named Khajuraho at Chhatapur district of Madhya Pradesh. Make a bracket to these students. And where are these temples situated? They are located in a small village named Khajuraho. And where is it? Chhatapur district of Madhya Pradesh. Khajuraho was the ancient capital city of Chandela. Again students, after Pallava dynasty, we studied about the Chalukya dynasty, when we studied about the Patadakal. Now Khajuraho temples, as we are studying, we are talking about the Chandela, the Rajputs, okay? So, the capital city of Chandela Rajputs of Budelkhand. So, temples were built by these kings during their reign from 950 to 1050 AD. Presently, 25 temples are in existence. So students, we are talking about Khajuraho temples, and it's in the Madhya Pradesh, the ancient city of the Chandela Rajputs of Budelkhand. And there are the temples which were built by during the kings in the reign of 950 to 1050. And right now, at present, there are how many temples, students? 25 temples are existing, and most of them are Shaiva temples or Shiva temples, whereas some of them are Vaishnav and Jain temples. Make a bracket to these students. Most of them are Shaiva temples, and whereas some of them are Vaishnav or Jain temples. They all have similar type of architecture and sculpture. The 64 Yoginis temples is the main temple. Underline, make a bracket. The 64 Yogini temples is the main temple. The Toran, what is the meaning of Toran over here? The arc of the temple is the best example of ornamental style of architecture. All of the temples were constructed with granite stone. Students, what is the something important or famous of this? All the temples were constructed in or with granite stone. Underline that. Khajuraho temples were constructed in Nagar style art of sculpture, and art of Vastu of Khajuraho temples spellbound the visitors. So students, when we studied about the memorials of the Patadakal, we saw that the style of the temple was into the Dravidian style of art. Where there is the Khajuraho temples, where most of the temples are either Shiva temples or Vaishnava and Jain temples, and there are 64 Yogini temples is the main temple over there. We are also talking about the Toran, that is the arc of the temple is the best example of ornamental style of architecture. All the temples are constructed with granite stone, students. Remember that, and the style is the Nagar style, the Nagar style of art. And how is the art, or it is of the Vastu, as we have studied about the Vastu Shastra and all, it is spellbound, it is something very much is splendid. It attracts the people, attracts the attention of the visitors. So it is all about Khajuraho temple. The main question from the point of exam is the temple, Sun Temple of Konark. Now students, earlier we studied about Sun Temples of Modhera. Do you remember about Sun Temples of Modhera? What did we study about Sun Temples of Modhera, students? Where are they situated? We studied that just in the 3rd or 4th chapter, students. Where are the Sun Temples of Modhera situated? Students, very often the students make mistake between the Sun Temples of Modhera and Sun Temples of Konark. Students, Sun Temple of Modhera is in Gujarat. Sun temples of Konark are in Odisha. So be with me now. It is 3 marks question. It is situated near the Bay of Bengal at Puri district in Odisha, make a bracket. It was constructed in the 13th century during the reign of King Narasimhavarman I, who belonged to the Garg dynasty. Students, belongs to which dynasty? Garg dynasty. Now, you may find somewhere given over there Pallava dynasty. But students, you will have to follow what is given to you in the textbook. And so students, first and foremost, my question to you is, where is the Sun Temple of Konark situated? It is situated in Odisha, near the Bay of Bengal at Puri district. You have to remember that. And then, second point of this is, it is built during the reign of King Narasimhavarman in the 13th century. Students, when is it built? It is built in the 13th century. Then, the chariot temple drawn by 7 horses took the form of chariot of sun god. Students, the chariot temple, you can see the picture over there, wheel of Sun Temple of Konark. Look over there and see then, this chariot temple drawn by 7 horses, there are 7 horses, took the form of chariot of sun god. It has 12 massive wheels. See, look over here students, it has 12 massive wheels providing beauty to the pedestal of temple. It is not pedestal, it is pedestal of temple. These wheels reflect 12 months and each wheel has 8 spokes, which shows 8 praharas of the day. See students, the picture of the temple gives, it is very symbolic. And what does it have? It has 12 massive wheels providing the beauty to the pedestal of the temple. It does give the beauty, but students, what is there? The 12 wheels, these 12 wheels reflect the 12 months of the year. And each wheel has 8 spokes. And what do the 8 spokes show? They show the 8 praharas, 8 hours of the days. Now, details of the motif of subject diversity of this temple is unparalleled. This temple has been built by black stones. Hence, it is called as Black Pagoda, Odisha. These remains reflect the sculpture and civilization of 13th century Odisha. So students, what happens? These temples also are called as Black Pagoda or black stone. Students, why is it called as Black Pagoda? Because it is built built by black stones. So students, just have a look at this and see all the points that which we studied just now. I just gave you few seconds to go through the points. As you looked at the points, you will realize that there are at least 6 to 7 points which you will have to mention. First and foremost, where is it situated and in which district? First, so it is in Odisha in Puri district near the Bay of Bengal. That will be of 1 point. You can also make 2 points over there. Constructed during the 13th century during the reign of Narasimha Mehta. Your third point can be, it belonged to the Garg dynasty. The chariot temple drawn by 7 horses took the form of the chariot of sun god. That should be your 4th point. It has 12 massive wheels providing the beauty of the pedestal of the temple. 5th point. Your 6th point will be, these wheels reflect 12 months and each wheel has 8 spokes which show 8 prahars of the day. So students, this is how you will have to make 9 points if the question is asked for 3 marks. Now, Sun Temple of Konark also is called as the Black Pagoda. The answer will be the same. But do not get confused between Sun Temple of Konark and Sun Temple of Modhera, as I already told you. Sun Temple of Modhera, students, where is it? It is in Gujarat. Okay, so do not make mistake. Then Modhera is built during the reign of Solanki, and it also has a crown of sun god at the entrance, but the answer will vary. Answer will not be just as same as this sun temple of Konark. Do not make mistake. You will have to learn this question by heart. Come to the next paragraph. Brudeshwar temple. This temple is located at Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. Make a bracket. This temple was built during 1003 AD to 1010 AD. It is a Shiva temple, so it is called Brudeshwar. Make a bracket. Students, you may be asked for the 1 mark question. Either where is the Brudeshwar temple located, or it could be why is the Brudeshwar temple is called as Brudeshwar, or how did Brudeshwar temple get its name? How did it get? So your answer will begin. This temple is located at Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. This temple was built during 1003 AD to 1010 AD, and it is a Shiva temple, so it is called as Brudeshwar. Or it is called Brudeshwar. It is built by King Raja I, underline that, of Chola dynasty. See students, you are seeing over here in the chapter different dynasties. After the Pallavas, you saw Chalukya dynasty. After the Chalukya dynasties, you saw the Chandela Rajputs. We also saw the other dynasties. And right now, we are talking about the Raja I Chola dynasty. Raja I of the Chola dynasty. So, Brudeshwar temple was built during the Raja I of the Chola dynasty. It is known as Rajeshwar temple. Make a bracket. Brudeshwar temple has got another name, Rajeshwar temple. It is also, it is a Shiva temple, so it is called also a Brudeshwar temple. The height of this temple is 500 feet. Its width is 250 feet. So see the students, height is 500, whereas the how wide it is, how much is the width? 250. It is spread in the vast area surrounded by the wall. So there is a wall. It is surrounded by the wall. Its summit is 200 feet high above the ground. Hence, this temple attained the place in the temples of, come to the next page, in the temples of high pinnacles. Okay, now, students, what is it? We saw about its width, its height, where is it situated, and it is surrounded by what, students? Surrounded by wall. Okay, so now look over here. You can see the picture. In the board exam, they can give you the picture. They can tell you, look at the picture given below and write a short note on it. Therefore, you need to know it is a Brudeshwar temple situated in Tamil Nadu, built by Raja I of Chola dynasty, also known as Rajeshwar temple, 500 feet high, 250 feet is its width. It is surrounded by a vast area, wall. Its summit is 200 feet high above from the ground. This temple is attained the place in the temples of the high pinnacles. Now, this is a marvelous heritage of architectural art of India due to its gorgeous, its beauty and huge size of pinnacle and artistic decoration. The artistic decoration, just now only we saw the figure, we saw the picture, and we saw it is very decorative. In the same way, it has secured a place among the best temples of South India. Among these South Indian temples, it has got the best place in South India. It has been constructed in Dravidian style of art. Students, what style it is? Just like Patadakal Memorial. Patadakal memorials also have been in the Dravidian style. So also this Brudeshwar temple, in which style, students? It is in Dravidian style. So I suppose you understood about the Brudeshwar temples. Now comes another important question. very often asked for the 2 marks. Sometimes can also ask for 3 marks. Qutub Minar. Have a look at the picture, students. How tall it is. Look at the picture. Look at the picture over here. Look at the beauty of it. And let's come back to the paragraph. Qutub Minar is located at Delhi, as all of you know. You have studied earlier also about Qutub Minar. And it was built in the 12th century by Qutb-ud-Din Aibak, who was the founder of Ghulam dynasty. So students, we have studied about Qutb-ud-Din Aibak in the 7th standard. Who was he, students? He was the founder of the Ghulam dynasty. Ghulam, slave dynasty. And so, students, look over here. The Qutub Minar of Delhi was built in 12th century by Qutb-ud-Din Aibak. After his death, the remaining work was completed by his son-in-law Iltutmish. This 72.5 m tall skyscraper is made out of round red stone and marble. So student, what type of stone has been used over here? It's made out of round red stone and marble. Underline that, students. Why I wanted to underline that? Because sometimes it also can be asked what type of stone has been used. Earlier we saw that the granite was used not for this, but some other temples they had used the granite stone. Over here it is what type of stone has been used, students? Marble with the red stone. Its circumference, how much is the circumference, students? Circumference is 13.75 m as it is based, and it is reduced to 2.75 m. Look at the figure, student. As you go up, you see the circumference is reduced. And to what it is reduced, students? To 2.75. Then, what is the next point? Verses of Quran have been engraved on it. Verses of Quran, something from the Quran. Quran is a holy book of the Muslims. And so students, what is that? Some verses, some holy words have been engraved on it. And it is the tallest stone minaret of India. Students, it can be asked for how many marks? As I told you, it can be asked for 2 marks or 3 marks. Just have a look at that. Afterwards, I will be asking the questions. Therefore, I want you to have a look at that paragraph. When is it built, students? Into which century? Into 12th century by who was the founder at that time? Qutb-ud-Din Aibak. And where is it located, students? It's in Delhi. What has been engraved on it? The verses of Quran have been engraved on it. Let's come to Hampi. Another important question, many times asked in the exams, can be asked in the board exams or your semesters, or it could be asked in the prelims. And therefore, I want you to learn this question also by heart. Learn this question also by heart. Just have a look at this. This town is situated on the bank of river Tungabhadra of Hotspate in Bellary district of Karnataka. Make a bracket. Hampi town is situated on the bank of river Tungabhadra of Hotspate in the Bellary district of Karnataka. Underline that, Bellary district. Hampi was the capital city of Vijayanagar kingdom. Hampi was the capital city of Vijayanagar kingdom. Underline that. The rulers of Vijayanagar kingdom were lovers of art. Peculiar type of architecture was developed in Vijayanagar during their reign. So students, first and foremost, where is it situated? On the bank of river Tungabhadra in Bellary district of Karnataka. First point. Hampi was the capital of Vijayanagar kingdom, and the rulers of Vijayanagar kingdom were the lovers of art. They loved art and architecture. Peculiar style of architecture was developed in the Vijayanagar during their reign, during the reign of these kings. Okay? Now, just see the next point. The period of Krishna Devaraya was considered to be the golden period of this art as it reached to its highest peak. Students, underline that Krishna Devaraya. Krishna Devaraya was the king of Vijayanagar. And what was the capital city? Hampi was its capital city. And during his time, during the reign of Krishna Devaraya, what had happened? It was also known as the golden period because it had reached its highest of the peak in the art. As they were the lovers of art, they admired the art and the architecture. The main feature of architecture style of Vijayanagar was to carve out huge and magnificent pillars from the stones. Pillars and columns made were artistically adorned with the figures of gods and goddesses, humans, animals, warriors and dancers. Make a bracket. Say students, how artistic it was. The style of Vijayanagar was carved out of the huge and magnificent pillars, big pillars, outstanding, something outstanding, spellbounding beauty it had from the stones. And the pillars and the columns made were artistically adorned with figures of, underline, gods, goddesses, humans, animals, warriors and dancers. In Hampi village of Vijayanagar kingdom, during the reign of Krishna Devaraya, the Vithala temple and Hajra temples were built besides it. Make a bracket. Vithala temples and the Hajra temples were built besides what? Besides Hampi, what we are saying about the art and architecture of the city. Virupaksha temple, Achyutarai temple of the Lord Krishna are the best examples of architecture. Make a bracket. Virupaksha temple, Achyutarai temple of the Lord Krishna are the best examples of architecture. So students, today what did we study? We studied about Mahabalipuram, which is situated in Chennai. We also studied about Patadakal memorials, which was the capital of the Chalukya dynasty, which is situated in Badami and built in Dravidian art style. Then we studied about the temples of Khajuraho, which are constructed in the style of Nagar, and the beauty of it has a spellbound beauty, which is in the district of Madhya Pradesh. Then we went to the important question about the Sun Temple of Konark, which are in Puri district in Odisha, built in 13th century during the reign of King Narasimhavarman. It is also called as Black Pagoda. Then we studied about Brihadeshwar temples located at Tanjore in Tamil Nadu. Mahabalipuram and Brihadeshwar are situated in Tamil Nadu, students, built during the king of Raja of Chola dynasty, Raja I of Chola dynasty, which also has very artistic beauty, very gorgeous and huge size of pinnacle. Then it is also built in the Dravidian style of art, just like the Patadakal memorial. They are also built in the Dravidian style. Then once again I told you Qutub Minar as an important question, asked for 2 to 3 marks, which is located or situated at Delhi, built in the 12th century by Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of Ghulam dynasty, and which is also made in red stone or the marble. We studied about the Hampi. Hampi, as it is situated at the bank of river Tungabhadra, capital city of Vijayanagar kingdom. Krishna Devaraya was its main ruler, during whose period everything was flourishing. His period also came to be known as Golden Period. And those rulers were the lovers of art. The pillars and the columns were made very artistically and adorned with the figures of gods, goddesses, human, animals, warriors and dancers. Besides this also, Krishnadev Raya also had built other temples like Vithala temple and Hajra temple, Virupaksha temple and Achyutrai temple of the Lord Krishna also are the best examples of the architecture. Students, I am going to stop over here. Tomorrow we shall study about Humayun's tomb, about the fort of Agra, Taj Mahal, Red Fort, Fatehpur Sikri. So we shall study about this tomorrow. I am going to stop over here. As I have told you, whichever questions are important from the point of exam, please students try to remember them. Answer always in the point form. I am going to stop over here. Have a good day.